What it is, it represents time, space, and energy. And what it says, it's in a random state. That's not useful energy. But what John has done is he has transposed that matrix so that the output is uniform. And within nature, uniformity means resonance. So if you can resonate that random energy, you got yourself an electric current, because electrons are the only things that are free to move on metal. So what we got here is a converter of random energy into electrical current. And that's the brilliance behind the machine here, is not only was John able to decipher his matrix, but he was able to make it into a workable device, and that's the SEG.
Morris's mock-up of the SEG needs an outside power source, just like Searle's original back in 1946. This unit does not contain the rare earth material and will not display the Searle effect. It was built to demonstrate Searle's contention that spinning magnets give off an electric charge as measured by the flashing LEDs. What will be the reaction if and when the Searle generator functions as the inventor assures it will?
I think the public will demand to know, why has this technology been ignored? Why have the experts failed to recognize it? John has a solution that is really the ultimate solution, because we're using energy that's already available within nature, and it's benign. I think we have a wonderful opportunity here, and it's a shame it hasn't been taken advantage of. I mean, John has been struggling to get this technology out for years.
John A. Thomas Jr. wrote a book about Searle, then formed a corporation with him in 1996. DISC, Direct International Science Consortium, for the purpose of rebuilding the Searle generator. Thomas's study of the Searle effect has convinced him beyond any doubt that Searle is telling the truth.
The funding that was done for all of this work originally was done by individuals that wanted to see this done. All private. No public money was put in. People in this country and in London, in England, all around the world have been lied to. They have been told that this can't exist or doesn't work. Every Sunday, Professor Searle would go out and physically demonstrate a craft going up into the air in front of a whole crowd, and there was no admission. Here is the craft, here it is in the air, this is what it does, and they didn't believe it. And they shunned him and called him and classified him in with UFO people and fringe people, and he's showing you. My God, there it is. And the United States has not heard of Professor Searle. They don't know who in the hell he is. The people of this world have been offered this technology in a refined form, usable, since the early 50s. And it was their right to have it. And it's been taken away from them by the media and by the power companies and by the people who are running this economic society. And we have been told that we cannot have this and it can't exist. Yeah, we could be living in a new world today that we should have had 25 years ago.
John Searle has since reformed the Searle International Space Research Consortium, or SISRC, an offshoot of his earlier organization. He lives and works in a small residence in the north of London. It is packed with equipment and computers. Visitors come from all over the world and are mostly welcomed by the man with a wary eye.
All my life since that lesson, I see this everywhere. People are more impressed with lies than the truth. I can't, because I'm talking from the heart, the truth of what I know and what I do.
But the proof that everyone wants to see is the generator running. It's not enough that Searle has written thousands of pages in his books, volume after volume, demonstrating his knowledge of magnetism and the tremendous scope of his work.
It is a standard problem. Here is something that is not confirmed in print, technical book. It has to be confirmed in print. You market it, you'll get 4 Nobel Prizes at least.
The Searle effect generator represents a fork in the road of scientific development that was abandoned nearly a century ago when ether theory became a relic of the past. John Searle came along, and whether he knew something special or just didn't know any better, He chose the empty road and traveled it alone. Could it be that Searle is right?
They looked at John Searle as a silly old fool, lost his marbles. He ought to be in a nursing home, being cared for. If they don't make it, they don't want to know. If it don't come inside their rooms, they don't want to know. The trouble is, we're confronted by a brick wall called the expert scientific world. If they haven't done it or cannot do it, it's impossible to do. All these years, 1964, we were at a peak, we were demonstrating, and still the scientists say it's impossible to do. Really? Well, we're going to show you. They're wrong. And they have held up this technology since 1946 to today.
Perhaps it's easier to believe that Searle's technology does not exist. The Searle effect generator at first look seems to violate known physical laws. Energy must come from somewhere. John says he found it in the rare earth material. Could it be that simple? Searle speaks his own language, a combination of known physics and terms he created to describe his invention. Could it be that John Searle is misunderstood? Numbers in squares told Searle that nature has a way of creating order out of chaos. Does the Searle effect generator convert random energy into usable electricity? When his generator is overloaded, it affects gravity and flies. John says he gave it a body and let it fly. What is the truth? German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer was once quoted as saying, "All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident." Could it be that John Searle's technology is passing through Schopenhauer's 3 phases of truth? The movement toward alternative energy sources is worldwide and essential. The promise of a working Searle effect generator represents a paradigm shift and a renewed hope for all life on Earth. The questions around John Searle and his invention need only one answer: build a working generator. When the rollers are moving around the plates and the energy is there to use, or when the skies are filled with flying discs transporting goods and people from place to place. Until that time, we have the man who speaks from his heart.
It seems strange after all these years to be walking on this lump of ground. And this is what they call the common, but to do sort of shows you had to get permission. They never refused me, I was never refused. They gave me the okay. So we used to do our lift off and take off over there, and the audience would be here. So we would fly over here, make up we were crashing, and everybody holding breath, then up it would go again. This area was a good place for shows. People come from far away. I mean, everything was done. The people said never happened, and they're dreaming. Here's the very film.